Hey everyone, how you doing? You're a bit quiet. Feeling good? Yeah? Welcome. It's so wonderful to be here. I nearly wore the shirt because I love it when you can match the shirt with your headshot. I feel like that's a funny moment. I do quite a few things with my life, I suppose. I'm a PhD researcher in organizational behavior. I'm the VP of Learning Culture at a healthcare firm. I try and spread the word of joy, I guess, as much as I possibly can on stages around the country, around the world, as much as I possibly can. But on this slide and that introduction, there was two things about me that weren't said. So the first is I'm a husband, first and foremost, and I'm a dad. So I have two small human beings in my life. The names are Aurora, she's 6, and Blake, who's 1. So anyone who's got small people in their life understands convergence probably more than anyone else. This morning, the convergence was porridge and Buzz Lightyear into, and the convergence was for my daughter getting out of a bunk bed, into a slide, into a ball pit without hurting her neck. That was also a pretty strong convergence. I'm going to talk to you today about joy, and we'll talk about the definitions of what that means in a second. But I want to tell you about this moment that happens to me every Monday. So my daughter, I mentioned, her name's Aurora. She has a more active social life than me, obviously. She does ballet and gymnastics and dance, and on Mondays she does musical theatre. And her musical theatre class is literally just around the corner from my house, maybe 5 minutes. So we come out of our drive, and then there's some lights, we turn left. And I get the joy of taking her to that every single Monday, right? So every Monday, we get ready, it's convergence. We've got like a bottle, have you got your shoes? No, get your shoes, quick, I forgot the car key. All of that sort of drama takes place as we leave the house. But then we get in the car, we go around, and I'm always caught at the red light, always, always, always. But it's awesome. I love getting caught at that red light because there is this moment for me and her. She's in the front of the seat. Her car seat's in the front of the car, by the way. So if anyone tells me that's not allowed, please just delete that from the recording. But she's at the front of the car seat. And I ask her every time we get to that red light and we wait to go around to musical theatre, like, Bubby, we love Bubby, right? So, Bubby, how was your day? And she turns to me and she goes, so Toby said that 1 plus 100 is 200, and I said that was wrong. And I was like, yeah, baby, that was right. By the way, Toby comes up a lot in conversation, and I don't know if that's something I should be worried about early or not. Toby. But that's one example, and then the next week she'll say, oh, we went, I'm really looking forward to going swimming, Daddy, this is why. And I'm like, tell me why you're looking forward to going swimming. And in that moment, for me, that is joy. And the reason why I felt that as joy is this is moments with me and my daughter where nothing else matters currently. I'm fully locked into what she's saying, and I'm curious about what she's saying. And I used to think that joy just happened to you. You wake up one day, you're feeling great, the sun is shining, you're walking your dogs, you have that cup of coffee, you feel this sense of good in your being, in your emotions. And there's some cool in social groups and families. We've stopped being curious. I absolutely adore that we are standing in an institution of education because curiosity, as we'll talk about in the next section of this, is going to be the key, the power to unlocking discovery, which is how you can find your joy. This beautiful, wonderful, positive emotion that's going to transform the world if we harness it for good. And when I talk about the good in joy, there was this wonderful study. I use a lot of wonderful language. There's this beautiful study, 50,000 people. It was done in 2025, so just over a year ago or so. 200 plus countries, all of these groups, these people came together over 7 days, and they performed one micro action of joy each day for 7 days. And a micro action of joy is something that lasts between 5 and 10 minutes. And it can be anything from having a conversation and celebrating an achievement, no matter how small or big that is, with a counterpart, or talking about the things that you value, you care about, things that inspire you as a human being. And what happened was just unbelievable. Wellness, sleep improvement, habits around diet, all improved in a short space of time within 7 days. What's even more important is those from a lower socioeconomic background saw a higher increase in their well-being and their output. People who have suffered from financial stress have a higher output when they experience these micro acts of joy between people. Why? Because the anxiety that you see from the feed when you see out-group-like content also comes in your feed when it says, like, here's that bag that you want and you can never afford. Here's the holiday that you can want but you never afford. That anxiety fuels into it. So what we've got to do is take our system back. because the joy that was experienced in that study was not experienced alone. Arthur Brooks is a brilliant neuroscientist, works with lots of other brilliant neuroscientists. I think he has my favorite definition of enjoyment, the process of joy taking place. So he talks about it like this. Enjoyment equals pleasure plus people plus memory. All the moments that when joy was experienced in that study, that 50,000 person plus study, those were moments that happened between people. Like, those moments didn't happen between person, screen, and feed. Happened between humans. These moments that we spend together, moments like this, where we're converging and connecting in a room and making contact, it happens between people. If anyone has ever been through, I haven't, by the way, just putting this as a disclaimer, I haven't. Anyone who's been through sort of marriage counseling or couples therapy knows that one of the most powerful things that can take place is everything goes to one side and you just look at another person. You stare at them for 5 minutes. Because what's happening chemically is a reconnection. We're connecting now on this stage, and I can't do this if you're just computer screens or feeds. I can do this, I can feel the things I'm feeling, and hopefully the things that you're feeling now are because you're standing there, you're engaging with me eye to eye, and we can have a connection. Or joy happens between people. And when we stop being curious, it's so sad because curiosity, it runs on the same circuit in our brain as reward does. So every time you get a like on your Insta post, that fires off that little dopamine trigger that says, good job, get another one. Yeah? Curiosity runs on the exact same circuit in our brains. That's why education is so powerful, so stunning, so beautiful, yet we treat it as this dull thing sometimes. We treat it as a stain or something that, it's a slog to go up and get and read and learn and research. I am dyslexic. School was tough for me. I have a master's in employment law, not because I love the pain of it, because I love finding out. We've lost this ability to find out. Freeman called this pleasure of finding things out. Sometimes what hard feels like gives you the most pleasure in the world. Those of you watching this that are currently in your studies, you know that gratification when you get that result at the end and the effort, the hard work, you look back at what you've done is so powerful. We cannot lose the ability to be curious because curiosity is one of the most important links in the chain when it comes to finding and manufacturing our joy. I told you I've got kids, right? And there's this beautiful piece of work and a study. Few people have done this. William James started this in 1890. Wanted to understand why do children see their life in higher definition, whereas most of us are adults, we see our lives as reruns. Time, memory, these things are interlinked. They're locked in. My daughter in the car is telling me a story about something that Toby did. Toby, I'll come back to him at some point, right? But she's living her life. Every moment that she's living is in high definition. She's experiencing building a sock puppet, running 100 meters at sports day. All of that is the first. When we have novelty, when we have new and different, that interlocks in our brains. It causes a memory. It becomes dense. When we spend our life at work and society going through reruns, and what I mean by a rerun is firing up the phone when you wake up in the morning and then switching your phone for a laptop from about after breakfast time and switching the laptop to a phone again or to a TV screen. Those things are not novel. So what happens is we'll look back and go like, anyone else feel like, where has 2026 gone? How is it June? I swear it was Christmas. The reason why you're feeling that, the reason why time feels like it's sprinting away from you is your brain already knows what's going to happen. So it doesn't store it as a memory. That's why kids' summers feel like long and everlasting. I still remember the summer when I was 15. Shouldn't have been drinking tins of Foster in the field, right? I remember that because of the density of that, the moment. There was no screens involved. It was just mates hanging out. That's why children, with their memories, they feel so dense with time. And that's why the scroll takes away that feeling. Because we lose two things, not just one. When we're scrolling, we lose the hour of a scroll, but we lose the thing we could have been doing instead. So we don't just lose the time in the moment, we lose the experience and the novelty that we could spend doing something that provides us joy, something that gives us the awe in the moment. Family is important to me. And my mum is a foster carer in Kent. So what my mum does is she looks after emergency placements, people that come to this country from war-torn countries, and she looks after them. What she does is she creates an environment for them to feel safe, first and foremost. Before anything can happen, before joy can even come onto the table, you need to feel the sense of safety, right? And we cannot just give joy to people either. There's a responsibility of carers, there's a responsibility of leaders, there's a responsibility of educators to create the very first thing we all need before we can experience joy on a regular basis, which is safety. We need to feel safe to explore. And so to build the system, to rebuild our brains, to rewire it so we can have joy on a frequent basis, we come to this. We start with this point of safety. When you feel safe, we open up the doors for curiosity and we can step right through. When you're curious, you ask questions, you go out and grab things, you can start to discover. What you're doing in your brain is building new neural pathways. It's thanking you. You're building density in your memories. It's attaching it to novelty. You have those things, those moments. You can create joy. But the warning is, this is a brick-by-brick process. You remove a brick, you take away curiosity. You move another brick, discovery falls out. And without those things, joy maybe does just become accidental. Maybe does just become a break in the clouds. The two systems going after your joy. Let's focus on the one that we can build, not the one that's going to drive us through anxiety and fear. This is not fate. This is controllable. We can redesign the way that we spend the most precious commodity on this planet, our time. Joy is not found. Come and build it. Come and get curious. Come and step out of this hall, out of this moment, pick something up, engage in a conversation, reach out to that human being, find that time for 5 or 10 minutes of micro joy so you can leave this next moment of your life and lead it into a place that grows with you. Joy is not found. It is built. Thank you.